Hi guys, Yuki here, back with Seduce Me to the Demon War Sam's route, alternate routes, part 11? 12? I've honestly lost track of time, really, but yeah, I'm actually back and I'm a lot better now. Got over my cold just a week time. Everybody, I want to thank you for your kind words about getting better, and just I'm glad that you guys are still actually interested. I know that my content can get pretty stale, and I promise you that after we finish with Seduce Me, we're gonna do something else. And it's not just gonna be like, I guess I'm gonna try to not let it just be plain, otome games, maybe other stuff, but honestly, we just have to see, because my computer isn't the best quality with graphics, so only certain games really are able. Oh, okay, there's Mystic Message for that. I'm gonna ignore that for now. But yeah, we'll see how maybe some horror type of visual novel type games, or I don't know. I'll eventually try to upgrade, but for right now, just have to make do with what I have. But yeah, hopefully, I feel like this is gonna be a pretty good year. I don't know. I feel optimistic. I know a lot of people are like, aren't having such a great time, but I just want to look at the positive right now, and hopefully I guess this channel will continue to grow, and we'll see new people and maybe new content. I don't know, I'm just excited. So let's just continue on with Sam. I slowly woke up from my sleep, feeling the ache of the morning consume and rush through my body relentlessly in an attempt to keep me contained in bed. I didn't mind. I was pressed against a warm chest, one whose arms I adored to be in. The nightmare plagued my thoughts, but my heart fluttered in reality, knowing that what was feeling in the physical world was what I was supposed to care about. I looked up at Sam's sleeping face, giggling at the sight of his messy hair. Sam slowly woke from the sound of my laughter, blinking the sleep away to stare down at me.
Morning.
Morning. I smiled and kissed Sam on the lips to help rouse him, but only ended up being pulled in a tight and loving embrace with my head buried in his shoulder.
Did you sleep okay?
The second time, yeah. Sam nodded in understanding against my shoulder as I wrapped my arms around him. I felt so warm and safe within the confines of his embrace that the thoughts of the nightmare had vanished from my mind. It would come back, but it was gone for now. Man, I honestly don't even remember what we did. This was like before Christmas and New Year's and everything, but I'm just gonna keep going because I don't really even remember half of what I did this time. Yeah. Nuzzle his shoulder. I was anxious to know what would come in the day. However, I was confident we would get through the day. I nuzzled Sam's shoulder, feeling him let a loving hum against my shoulder. Sam gently loosened his embrace and pulled away to look at me with a tired smile.
I don't want to get up yet.
I laughed, knowing that was how Sam operated in the morning. He was definitely not a morning person, so seeing him curl up to me and ask permission to stay in bed was still an endearing sight that reminded me how much I loved him. My heart warmed as I smiled and kissed his forehead. Then we don't have to. We can sleep a little longer if we want. Sam smiled and closed his eyes, pulling me against his chest with a hearty chuckle.
Good. We can go eat later.
Until our peace was broken, unfortunately, by the sound of knocking at our door. Sam and I let a simultaneous groan. Our plan was ruined.
Go away!
Sam, we brought breakfast.
We'll eat later!
Are you seriously going to argue with me?
Oh, I just thought of something. Wouldn't it be cute to see, like, toddler incubi babies? Yeah, incubabies. That'd be so cute. I remember there's somebody talking about it a while ago, but hey, that's maybe just fan art would be cute. I don't know. I just feel like it'd be cute to just see them interact as little kids. Yeah, off topic.
Come on, it's like 9 a.m.
Now I was getting upset. I wanted to stay in bed, feeling Sam's arms around me for a little while longer. Was that so much to ask? Screw breakfast. I don't even eat breakfast. We have 3 more hours until noon.
Oh my god, just get up already. We're burning daylight here.
Sam and I whined and how irritated that our plans to sleep in became ultimately impossible. However, we both understood that today was a new day and we had to start preparing to take on the Demon Lord. I slowly rose and sat up in bed, yawning as Sam begrudgingly followed suit. All right, come in! The door opened and in poured the Inky brothers and their wives, carrying a plate of food each. Sam and Iridescent held out their 2 extra plates for me and Sam.
Thanks, Tessa.
You're welcome, Sparky.
Aww. Thank you, James.
Of course.
James and Iridescent moved away from us as we both looked down at our plates. On it were fruit slices, bread, cheese, and some form of jerky I didn't recognize. It was probably safe knowing the others were eating it as well. Sam, however, lowered his plate in his lap to look at his brothers.
So, what's the plan?
Well, we should probably take the next couple of days to train properly. Since we're in Lilith Castle, we'll have access to training equipment.
Lilith Castle? This place has a name? The boys and Irene, Eric's wife, nodded in reply. Sam stuffed a stick of jerky in his mouth and began to chew it on as Dame began to explain.
The first succubus, Lilith, was exiled here after being cast out of Eden by the heavens. She became a demon and soon began to breed more incubi and succubi than the world could control.
Can you believe it's almost been a year since this came out? I seriously need to finish this up pretty soon. I might just have to end up like, not this one, but probably like the next one, like change it back where like the other options don't really matter and just cut towards the endings, like the bad endings or whatever. Because I would obviously save time, but I also feel bad because there are other options that are available, but it's like you can't really have them all. I don't know. What do you guys think? Because I don't want to have you guys sit through like hours upon hours upon hours of pretty much most of the same thing except for like different choices, but I don't know. We'll see how this goes. And I guess probably skip through most of this stuff since we've seen it before. Alright. Let it go. I shook my head. Whatever was in my mind was gone now, so I had no reason to be distracted. Sorry, just had a rough night.
Oh, we're sorry. Is everything okay now?
Aw, thanks, Twyla. I nodded, wanting to shake off Twyla's worries. Yeah, it was just a nightmare. It went away the second I went to bed. Everyone nodded in understanding before Sam wrapped an arm around me and hugged me to his side.
Well, like we said, we'll be ready for whatever the Demon Lord throws our way.
I wouldn't be too sure about that just yet.
Everyone in the room turned their heads to see Diana and Sarah standing at the door. Diana stepped further into the room as Sarah stood at attention watching her.
You 5 have been gone during the 10 years of this war. You do not seriously believe that you will be ready for this in a mere week, do you?
Diana seemed firm and serious. I couldn't understand why, but a part of me felt a bit angry that she shut down her own pep talk. Blah, pepperonis. Sam glared at Diana.
And if we do?
Then it is a foolish mistake.
How so?
10 years of absence can be unkind to one's abilities.
To be fair, it has only been 2 years for us.
Regardless, when was the last time any of you actually fought in battle?
Silence consumed the room. She was right. However, we weren't willing to give up that easily. I stood and placed my plate on the bed behind me. Why does it matter? We're going to defeat the Demon Lord either way.
We will. But there is no reason to try and breed ideas of false hope that it will be easy. Too many lives have been lost in this war, with the hope that they'll all survive. It's better to be realistic.
The tone of her voice echoed a heavy warning. No doubt she had seen hundreds or thousands of deaths in this war firsthand, but now was not the time to doubt ourselves. Sam stood up as well, standing at my side in defiance.
Fuck that! If you're right, then hope's the only thing we got.
Sarah stepped up to Diana's side, giving Sam a blank stare in return of his mistress.
Hope can only take you so far. Do you truly believe it will help you defeat the Demon Lord?
We've done it before. I felt Sam take my hand and nod, affirming his words. I smiled and squeezed his hand, agreeing. Sarah and Diana stared at us, with Diana crossing her arms. Something was on Diana's mind as she stared at Sam just from looking into her eyes. What was it?
Can you say that with confidence?
I can. Want me to?
Not to derail the topic, but this is a waste of time. We should be preparing for war, not bickering about if we can or not.
A moment of silence passed through the room as Diana stared at Sam sternly. However, she was distracted, distant from the conversation as if she was stalling time to have her thoughts wander. What was keeping her real attention?
Well, I'm not going to argue about this. Believe what you wish.
Sam and I waited and watched as Diana lowered her arms to her sides with a sigh.
However, we do have something to discuss.
And the same talk we always get. Skip! I don't need a trainer. I walked into the room and let out a sigh. Today was tough, and I could tell it was only going to get much tougher later in the week. I felt my feet slide across the floor in exhaustion, not used to the strenuous work I had to do. I sat down on the bench in front of the fireplace, staring into the flames as I let relaxation finally hit my body. The warmth of the fire gave me a dull sense of calm, causing me to sigh and lean back against the bench.
You have done well, child.
Huh? You again.
Fear not. I come to observe you as you observe me.
I tilted my head, confused as to what that voice meant. I looked around and scoured the room before turning my gaze back to the fire. Within it, I could barely make out the outline of eyes, which caused me to freeze in the spot. What the hell? You're the fire?
I am a flame, but I am not the fire you gaze upon. I merely look through it to judge you, and the one named Maurice.
You're judging us? Why? For what?
That will be known soon. When the time is right, the one destined to take my power will be tested.
I stared into the flame, lost and confused. Why were we being judged? Was this some sort of trick by the Demon Lord? As I thought of that, the flame intensified slightly.
The Demon Lord, an evil being of this world. He is a curse plaguing this land.
You hate the Demon Lord as well?
He is not worthy of life, but I care not enough to rise from the darkness to rid the world of him myself.
What do you mean?
I have been generous with you, child. You must now be patient.
Before I could even think to protest, the eyes hidden within the flames vanished and the voice disappeared from my mind, as if it were part of a dream I had awoken from. I shook my head and rubbed my head, taking it in. Some sort of spirit or guardian was watching over us. Apparently, it seemed to be strong enough to defeat the Demon Lord himself. Was it possible? Even more so, it was going to test one of us to take its power? My mind instantly went to Sam. There was no reason for it to be me, to be the one tested, so it had to be him. How would he be tested, though? I shook my head. This was too confusing to think about right now. However, as I sat back and let my mind reorganize itself, I suddenly realized something. Where was Sam? I stood and walked to the door, opening it and peeking out into the hall. Sam was nowhere in sight. What the? Sam was really late to coming back. From what we discussed, he should have been back, or at least on the way. However, the distance to their training area was not that far. I began to wander the halls, trying to find where they were. Luckily, Sam made a lot of noise.
Fuck you!
Sam? I rushed towards the noise, stopping at an open door. Hearing it, I gasped as I saw the war room in a disarray as everyone seemed to be hugging the walls, watching as the chaos that was breaking in the middle of the room. Sam and Sarah were clashing swords to spear with Sam's face full of rage and Sarah's expression void of any expression. I think I have this one already, but just in case.
You're too slow. Faster! You want me to go faster? Fine!
Before my eyes, Sam and Sarah began to barely visible shadows through the air. Their weapons clanged rapidly, almost like multiple bullets crashing at once as they arced towards one another. What is going on? The incubi and the wives moved towards the door to join me, still watching the fight.
Sam was about to leave for the night, but then that jerk-ass Sero called him a weak coward. Well, you know how Sam is. He did actually try to walk away, but then Sero said that the war was his fault, so that got this whole shitstorm started. They've been at it ever since.
The hell? I looked back to Sarah and Sam, still unable to make either of them out as they clashed and fought. My eyes locked on Diana, seeing her lean against the far wall with her crossed arms. As I examined her, her eyes seemed to follow the fight almost masterfully. Was she able to see what the hell was happening despite their lightning speed? Why was she just watching anyway? Sam, stop it!
Keep at it, Seto. Don't let him stop!
What the hell? I ran to Diana despite her not taking her eyes off the fight. Why aren't we stopping this, Diana? Oh, I'm sorry, Diana. Attack Diana. If she wasn't listening, she would be the thing to stop Sero. I quickly formed a fist and threw it at Diana, but stared wide-eyed as Diana caught my fist and glared hard at me.
Watch.
Well, I still wasn't understanding. I tried to pull my hand away, but Diana held it firmly. She wasn't going to give me a choice from the look in her eyes. I turned my gaze to the fight, desperate to try and see what Diana wanted me to witness.
Are you that weak, Incubus? You haven't landed a blow on me once! Shut your fucking mouth! Like father, like son!
I don't understand why Sarah was egging him on and insulting him, but Sam seemed to be up for the battle regardless of the fact, using the insult as inspirational rage. For from the faint outline of Sam I could see, I noticed something off about him. His eyes were surrounded by a heavy green and red mixed aura. The more I watched, the more the aura seemed to build and take shape around Sam's body. I couldn't tell what it was, but it looked almost alive.
Enough!
All at once, Sarah slid to the opposite side of the open space, panting and gasping for air. Around Sarah was a faint white light that was diminishing with each breath he took. And someone's at the door. I guess I'm gonna have to pause here. I'll be back, I guess. Alright guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. Around Sam, however, was a clear view of a tense red and green aura. It seemed to flicker around Sam like flames, but it didn't seem to die even when the battle was over.
What the hell?
What is that? Seto.
Diana pushed off the wall and walked to Sero, wrapping an arm around his arm and making him gasp at the gesture. He looked to her in shock as she turned to Sam with a hard gaze.
It would seem that we have much to do before the siege.
What are you talking about? Diana seemed to ignore my question as she turned and began to walk towards the room's exit with Sarah in her arms. Sam, on the other hand, dropped to the floor and sat back against the wall, trying to calm down. Instinctively, I rushed over to him. Sam shut his eyes as he forced himself to take deep breaths. Each one seemed less labored than the last, but I could tell that he was working to calm his rage. Sam? The aura around Sam finally seemed to die down before Sam let a heavy sigh and pressed his head against the back of the wall. His head back against the wall. I could tell the exhaustion was weighing him heavily, so I simply sat beside him, waiting.
Sam, what is going on?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Sam, you had a weird aura around you.
I said I don't know!
Sam closed his eyes and pressed his back against the wall, letting his head drop to his chest. He genuinely didn't seem to know what was going on, but I became concerned. Why was his aura so strange? My thoughts ran to the voice from the flame. Was this the start of whatever test he had in mind? Why were Diana and Sarah involved, though? Sam finally opened his eyes and looked to me. His irises flashed gold at the sight of me, but he quickly returned to emerald green as he let out a sigh. I'll wait patiently. I knew Sam well enough not to pester him and to let him settle down. As he stared, he reached a hand up and gently ruffled my hair.
Sorry you had to see that.
I shook my head and held onto his, kissing his palm. As I did, Sam chuckled and stood, ushering me to stand along with him. Sam gently took my hand and walked to lead me out of the room.
Hey, hold on!
Shut up, Squirt.
Squirt, what the hell?
Matthew, hey, chill!
I looked back to see Norrin and Damien holding Matthew back from pouncing at Sam. But I continued with Sam out of the room. As we walked down the hall, I looked at Sam, seeing the exhaustion of his eyes grow heavier and heavier. He had used a lot of energy. I wrapped my arms around him and guided him back to our room, sitting on the bed and eventually flopping back onto it with me. As he let out a relaxed grunt, I kissed his cheek. Everything okay?
Yeah. Just exhausted. Man, fuck that guard.
I smiled and hugged him, ushering him to wrap his arms around me and kiss my forehead.
Something really has been weird, though.
I agree. Both of us went silent as we began lost in thought. I knew Sam was trying to determine what happened, but I was concerned over what the voice in the flame said and how that reflected on Sam. That nightmare I had made a lot more sense, but why was I involved? Sam and I went to bed that night, both unsure of what was going on and mildly fearful of what was happening. We couldn't speak about it without knowing all the pieces. We both knew better than to take stabs in the dark. My night was uneventful, but my morning wasn't the same. I didn't expect to wake up with a hand over my mouth with an arm tight around my waist. I tried to focus my vision, but as the sensation of the situation set in, I gasped and struggled to see what was keeping me captive.
Quiet.
I stared wide-eyed, seeing Sarah staring ahead of us as he kept his mouth shut and held me against him with his other arm. What was even stranger was that he was using his holy magic, disabling me to use any of my energy to fight back. What the hell? I looked ahead of us to see a sight I never wanted to see. Diana straddling over Sam's waist as he slept, looking down at him with pure concentration. What was she doing? Did this have something to do with what happened last night?
Patience, child.
I froze at the sound of the voice in my head. The voice was in on this act too?
She's merely following instructions. No harm will come to him.
Struggle! I didn't care. This was beyond wrong. Whatever the hell Diana wanted to do to Sam, I started to struggle on Sarah's arms, but he tightened his hold on me, making me freeze against him.
You have fire within you, but now is not the time to release it.
Diana let out a small sigh before pressing her index finger to the top of her head and dragging it down her face, between her eyes and all the way down to her crotch. What the... The line that formed on Diana's skin seemed to glow and envelop her body in a strange purple light, changing her skin and almost shrinking her form. As if magic finally settled and faded away, I gasped at the sight. Diana's new body was my own, only without clothes. Every curve, every crevice of her body matched mine, and even the voice that came out of her mouth perfectly mirrored my own. Sam, wake up. I felt nauseous watching her run her fingers along Sam's hair, just like I would. How the hell did she know anything about how Sam and I interacted intimately? This was creepy and gross, and I felt myself naturally struggle against Sarah to be free. Sam's eyes fluttered open, and just the sight of me straddling over his hips. As Diana gave him my perfect smile, I mentally panicked. What was he going to do? Would he fall for this? No way. There is no way. Sam's eyes trailed up and down Diana's body, just like how he would with me whenever he saw me without clothes. My heart was breaking a bit at the sight.
Get the fuck off me.
Wait. Well, yeah. I gasped as Sam suddenly sat up, gripping Diana's neck, and began to squeeze. Sarah tightened his hold on me, most likely struggling to obey previous commands to stay put.
What the fuck do you think you're doing, bitch?
Yeah, Sam, stop. A large part of me felt relieved that Sam could see whatever illusion Diana threw on herself. A small part of me began to fear Diana's neck being snapped because of it. She continued to act like neat and perfection as she gripped Sam's wrists. It was mightily scary to see Sam holding Diana, who looked like a copycat of me. The more I watched Sam crush Diana's neck, the more I could imagine him doing that to me, which made me fearful. He would never hurt me, but to see it happening to someone who looked and acted like me was another thing.
If this is some kind of fucked up joke to you, I will end you right now!
Diana began to cry, most likely losing air from Sam's death choke on her. As she coughed, her body began to quake from lack of oxygen. Please, Sam, it's me!
Shut the fuck up!
Oh man. Sam released a hand from Diana's neck and pushed it to her stomach, lifting her off of him and shoving her off of his lap against the far wall. Diana crumpled against the floor, curling herself as she coughed violently and shook from the pain and the obvious rack through her. Sam, however, jumped out of bed and walked at Diana, glaring down at her.
You're not her. Where is she, Diana?
Diana looked up at him, tears rushing down my eyes as she gripped her neck. Sam, it's me, stop it! Sam quickly lifted his foot, causing Diana to flinch and cover herself with her hands over her head, bracing for impact. While I expected Sam to fall for Diana's tricks instead of my weakness, he let the kick he was charging fly into Diana's stomach, slamming her against the wall. He didn't stop, however, slamming his foot into her, rebounding her against the wall like a soccer ball. Oh man.
Where is she?
My body began to quake at the sight of Sam kicking Diana, who very much continued to act like me despite the barrage of pain Sam was inflicting on her. This was messed up and wrong. Why was Diana doing this? Why was she letting this happen?
She is following my instructions as I demanded.
Well, yeah, screw your directions. I began to grow fearful of Sam, instinctively placing myself in Diana's place. It was only natural since she was acting like me right now. Deep in my heart, I knew Sam would never do this to me. But the fear began to fester at the sight of him beating down an image of me.
Fear not, child. He knows very well who he is attacking. I can hear his heart crying as yours is now.
What do you mean?
He despises doing this, but you have become the priority over the illusion. He pretends to see the succubus as she really is, as he tries to get his answer. A truly interesting demon.
I shut my eyes. Diana was doing a job, and Sam obviously saw through it. He wasn't attacking me, he was attacking Diana for tricking him and assuming that she was hiding me from him. I only opened my eyes again to see Sam lift Diana by the throat and pin her to the wall, forming a sword in his free hand and lining the tip between her eyes. Even with the blade mere inches away from her face, Diana continued to act, crying and shaking in fear. Oh, you just used his name.
I will kill you!
Within a blink, the hold on me vanished and Sam flew back from Diana, releasing her and slamming into the far wall. I crumpled to the ground and quickly looked up to see Sarah holding Diana close to his hide as his form emanated a holy white aura. His eyes burned intense and deadly hatred as white-tinted magic barriers surrounded his and Diana's bodies.
Enough!
Sam shook his head and jumped up, but at the sight of the real me, he instantly dropped the sword and tackled me, wrapping his arms around me and hugging me tightly.
Holy shit! You're okay!
Sam! I stared into his shoulder, feeling him shake violently as he held me. My body couldn't help but shudder with him, feeling every ounce of his love as he gripped me tightly. He knew where his heart belonged, and it led him back to me, even with unbelievable odds attempting to sway him. I wrapped my arms around Sam and buried my face into his shoulder, nodding to him. I'm right here, Sam. Sam refused to let go, digging his fingers into my shirt and pulling me even closer still to his chest. I could feel his heartbeat pound against his chest as he pressed me against him. I, however, peeked over Sam's shoulder to see Diana shift back from my image to her own form, collapsing against Zero. With ease, Zero lifted Diana into his arms like she was a bride who had fainted, but continued to glare back at Sam's head. Finally, Sam lifted his head and looked to Zero, growing a glare of his own.
Tell that bitch to stay away from me if she wants to keep breathing.
I can hear you, brute.
Let him speak against Diana. Sam was beyond angry and needed to let his emotions out. I knew better, but who knew if Sam would even believe that voice that told him to do so?
If you ever touch her again!
Sarah's glare turned into a scowl.
We didn't have a choice, filthy dog.
Sam started to snarl on Sam, but I gripped his hands, keeping him close to me. Sam.
The fuck do you mean you didn't have a choice?
We were told to try and trick you.
Sam stared wide-eyed at Sarah and Diana before glaring once again.
You're a shitty liar.
And you are a brain-dead brute. Can you not feel it yet?
Feel what?
Open your eyes, Incubus. You are being watched by something powerful, and you are being tested.
Sam closed his eyes and pressed his lips together, most likely taking what they had said before he glared at Sarah and Diana.
Why?
Sarah continued to glare at Sam in silence, but Diana lifted her head and looked to Sam from Sarah's arms.
Because it said it will ensure our victory.
Sam raised an eyebrow, slowly starting to believe that this was a false reason, but I held his arm, looking to him in hope and earnest. Sam took a moment to look at me before sighing and shaking his head.
What said that?
Some powerful being. I don't know why, but I can feel that this being is more powerful than any of us.
Is that it?
Diana nodded and rested her head on Sarah's chest, causing him to hug her body against him.
It won't speak its name, but we're certain we'll find out what it is.
Sam nodded before looking to the ground.
Can you go now?
Without another word, Sarah walked out of the room with Diana, most likely to help her recover from the training day ahead.
I'm going to kick the shit out of him in training.
At last we were alone. I let out a sigh and wrapped my arms around Sam, laying my forehead against his shoulder. You okay?
No, I'm not. Whatever this thing that keeps testing me is, it got you involved.
Sam wrapped his arms around me and buried his head in my hair, letting out an aggravated sigh.
I'm sorry. Diana was pretending to be you, and I just...
I could hear the regret in his voice, slightly breaking my heart. I knew deep down that he would never hurt me, and that he was just trying to find me. I was wise enough to know the reason for his anger. Don't say anything. There was nothing that needed to be said. I simply looked at Sam, waiting for him to calm down.
What the fuck is going on?
I didn't know what to say, so I simply held him until it was time to train. I slowly made my way into the room and sat back down into the bed, letting a rush of exhaustion run through me like a wave of water. I shut my eyes and fell back onto the mattress with a soft thud. We were a handful of days away, and I wasn't sure how we were going to handle it, now that we were apparently being tested on top of it.
You have nothing to fear from me, child.
I didn't even have the strength to care or sit back up. I let out a sigh and continued to stare at the ceiling, greeting the voice in my head with a grimace. Why are you doing this? Why not just test him yourself?
One cannot be tested if they are not ready for the consequences.
That got me to sit up. I looked to the fireplace, remembering the dream I had Sam being burnt alive. A shudder ran through my spine as the voice chuckled.
You know what will happen if he is not worthy of my
I don't want him to burn, but that's what we gotta do. But why must he take it?
He wishes to kill the abomination demon lord, correct?
My anger flared. How was this being so high and mighty of himself? Diana and Sarah seemed to respect him for his power, but he was just so powerful, then why wasn't he here himself testing Sam? The voice answered my thought.
I am bound to the dark, as I have always been for eons.
Eons?
Yes, child. My kind and I have lived within the depths of the abyssal plains ever since the dawn of time, feeding off of the ashes of the dead and granting the world above us peace.
Peace? Was this being some kind of underground creature? How was it able to communicate through fire then?
We are all powerful, child. Should we desire it, we could bring the world to its knees and drown it in endless flame.
From the power behind his voice, I could tell that he was telling the truth. A violent shiver ran up my spine as I imagined the castle and the land around us completely covered in flames. The voice, however, continued.
Fear not, however. We care little for the world above.
Then why get involved now with the Demon Lord?
The Demon Lord is a mad abomination undeserving of the power of the demon world. For what is to come, he must be eliminated.
But I really need to blow my nose. It's gonna be kind of gross, but I'm sorry. I'll probably cut this out. Sorry. Sorry about that. It just needed to happen. My nose was too stuffed up. Like, I'm better now, but I still have, like, the little sniffles. So I think I should be completely, like, 100% better probably by Monday. This is Saturday when I'm recording this. I'm probably not going to get this out till probably Sunday or Monday, but we'll try. What do you mean, what's to come?
Talking to the voice?
Oh. I quickly looked to the door to see Sam staring at me intensely. What surprised me was that he was in his demon form. I could only assume his glamour spell vanished from how much energy he had used in training. I nodded and looked to the fire. The voice was telling me about itself. It apparently lives beneath the demon world. I hoped that Sam knew what it was. However, whatever this thing was, it seemed to think itself as the most powerful being in the world, which I couldn't verify. It was unknown to me. Sam, however, cocked an eyebrow.
So it's a dragon.
Wait. What? I shot my head at Sam, both confused and thrown off by the answer. A dragon? A dragon? When did this become part of the list of demons in the world? How were dragons even remotely related to demons? Sam stared at my face and laughed before walking over and ruffling my hair.
What? You didn't think they were real?
No! No! I mean, anything's possible at this rate, but a dragon? How is that even possible? The voice in my head laughed at my surprise, but what shocked me was that Sam reacted as well to the laughter, looking around the room in shock.
The fuck?
I am surprised that you know of what I am. Oh, Maurice.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably have to skip quite a bit. You get the gist of this, right? Or gist. Whatever the actual word is. I don't know the answer to this. No? I was nervous. There was no way I could have been alright. I didn't know what was planned for me. What was expected to do. I shook my head, looking to the ground. I don't know what it would want from me. Sam grimaced and wrapped his arms around me.
Hey, you'll be fine. I'm sure you can pass whatever it's planning, no problem.
I nodded softly. I had to breathe. Everything would be okay. As I took a deep breath, I took a moment to take in what Sam was still in his demon form. Yeah, that stuff. Bye! Wait for him to change. It wasn't often that I saw his demon form, only whenever he ran out of energy, which in itself was rare. Sam took a breath and focused his energy, causing the marks on his skin and the horns on his head to vanish without a trace. He made sure he formed a pair of pants as well, but remained shirtless to sleep. Sam grinned and motioned to the bed with his head.
Come on, we gotta sleep.
With a nod of my own, I slipped into bed with him and closed my eyes. I had to prepare myself for whatever the dragon had planned. I half expected to wake up to Diana to be disguised as Sam when the morning came. I think I'll end it here. Because I've recorded about almost 40 minutes worth. Yeah, save that there. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I know you guys are still waiting for the Q&A. It is happening, but until everything gets moved around and I actually get a spot where, if things go well, I'm gonna get like I said before, a setup so that everything will be a little bit more professional and I can actually use my more expensive stuff. Right now I'm still sticking to my earbud microphone thing, but I got a new, like, I have new headphones, and I also have like a new microphone that I have, well, I tested it out, but it's better to have it like on an actual desk instead of like my space that's not even that great. But anyways, enough of me rambling. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!